Good morning. Welcome to Leon County Today with Sheriff Walt McNeil. Sheriff, we're back for another episode. This week, we're focusing on a very important topic that we've talked a lot about, but for a good reason, our youth in our community and what we're doing to engage them. How important is this process for you?
Oh, it's extremely important. You know, Shauna, a lot of us in Leon County kicked off and we all got engaged with the Children's Services Council, noting the fact that if we don't do something to have some interventions or interdictions with the kids in our community, that we'll see the spiral of crime and some of the negative aspects of our community just continue to grow. And I'm just excited about the opportunity to work with the Leon County school system. We continue to do that, and with our staff, we have a tremendous staff in the work they do. Our school resource deputies, always there. Leslie Rayburn, who has taken over as Director of Youth Services, has done a tremendously great job. But we have to keep doing it. These things we have to get so entrenched in what we do in our DNA, you might say, that it becomes part of the culture that we always are engaged and we're working forward, trying to make sure we take care of our kids. You know, it's been said, if you don't take care of the children of your society is probably going to not succeed. And that's something we've got to do here in Leon County, make sure that our children succeed so that we can continue to succeed in this community.
Right, and when we talk about those efforts to really engage our youth, we're going to talk today about a new initiative that the Sheriff's Office is kicking off with some community partners, specifically geared to the elementary age kids. How important is it for us to start at an early age when it comes to these interventions?
Yeah, you know, we had a guest on that talked to us about the fact that you could predict a child's outcome to some extent by the number of books that are in a home.
Right.
I think she said if you got 36 books in a house, that kid is guaranteed to finish high school.
Right.
I mean, those are sobering kind of statistics. And obviously, the sooner we can start with our kids, making sure, as we're doing with the Children's Services Council, starting very early before they're born, quite honestly, prenatal care, and making sure those parents are ready to deal with the issues and problems that being a parent presents. It presents to all of us. And if we can do that successfully, and then working with law enforcement and other social service organizations, we can make Leon County a very, very safe place to be.
Yeah, that community collaboration really, really important in the process. And so I'm excited to hear more. We've got our Executive Director of Youth Services here with us today. So it's going to be a good show.
Absolutely. Leslie is an exciting person anyway, so I'm looking forward to the conversation.
She is indeed. Well, be sure to stick around. We're going to tell you about a challenge we're issuing to some local students coming up in just a minute. But first, let's check in with Sergeant McMillan for our Crime Tip Tuesday.
Hello, everyone. This is Sergeant Shade McMillan, your Public Information Officer for the Leon County Sheriff's Office. And here's today's Crime Tip Tuesday. Walking is a great way to exercise. It is best to walk with a partner. However, if you do walk alone, here are some tips to better protect yourself. Avoid dark, vacant, or deserted areas. Use well-lit, well-traveled routes. If you sense you are in trouble, move away from the potential threat if possible. Join any group of people nearby. Cross the street and increase your pace. If a threatening situation is imminent and people are close to you to help, yell, scream, or make a commotion in any way you can get their attention. Be safe out there.
1 in 3 women will be victims of sexual violence in their lifetime.
So will 1 in every 4 men.
But we can all help in the fight against sex crimes.
Let's be all in
All in.
All in.
All in.
All in.
to stop sexual violence. Joining me now is LCSO Executive Director of Youth Services, Leslie Rayburn. Leslie, we've launched several new initiatives engaging our kids in our community. Tell us about why is it so important to engage with our kids?
Well, I think, it goes back to the old answer, children are our future. And we are investing in creating and developing, from elementary school age up into, good people. And I think part of that comes with mentoring and developing leadership skills, but also just being able to, have conversations like you and I have on a daily basis, because I think in a world of technology, some of those skills are lost. So engaging them in every way that we can, whether it be, some of the traditional ways that we grew up with, but also, even in the electronic age, being able to merge those so they can really function in society.
We've got a number of initiatives going on, and some of those I think got some great potential. Talk about how our initiatives, these things we've launched, are going to help us fight crime?
Again, it's engaging with the community. One of the things that we have, partnered with a lot of our community partners is bringing law enforcement into the community, but also bringing the community to law enforcement. We have several initiatives where our goals are to partner our law enforcement, our corrections staff, with not only our youth, but the parents in the community, so we can have those tough conversations, but also we kind of humanize the badge and actually see that, our deputies and our COs, they're just like everybody else.
Yeah. Well, you've done something with the what we call the Youth Advisory Council, which brings our youth in and have a conversation. Talk about that. How important is that as a tool in our toolkit?
So our Youth Advisory Council, we are actually in our second session. This actually started in 2020. And with COVID, we really couldn't get the engagement. So moving forward to this school year, we have 7 high schools that are represented. We have everybody from 10th graders to seniors. And we bring them into the room with law enforcement. We talk about topics, but also it gives them the opportunity to voice their opinion and concerns that they have. Our most recent class, we had traffic was our topic. So in addition to talking about traffic laws, we got into things they should do if you're engaged with law enforcement, what to do in a traffic stop, what they can expect from deputies. And then we open the floor for questions. So you really develop that open dialogue with our deputies and with the youth, and it just allows that two-way communication about different issues.
So how do we recruit these kids? If somebody's out there watching right now would like their child to be a part of our advisory council, how do they do that?
Well, we have school resource deputies in every high school. So if they have any interest in becoming a part of our youth advisory council, reach out to your school resource deputy. They will help facilitate getting the application to you. It comes to us, and we get a letter, and then you come to our first meeting.
Hey, I'm hopeful that we get 1,000 kids. I know we can't accommodate 1,000, but I hope we can get a number of kids there in our advisory council. Talk to me about one of the things that's near and dear to me is Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. I believe scouting builds people, and so we're doing something with Boy Scouts as well. Talk about that.
We are. So back in the spring, we started our initiative called Scout Reach. It's a partnership with Boy Scouts of the Suwannee River area, and through our agency, we were able to sponsor troops, not only the troop, but the uniforms as well as the fees and the camps for these youth that are in underserved areas. So they're allowed to become a part of scouting. They're learning the skills. They're a part of a team, and we have been able to put 6 different troops throughout Leon County, and we're continuing to build on that this school year.
We do a number of programs, and we've got the schools out. We have the summer initiatives that we put together. But talk about some of the special interactions our deputies have with kids who are in trouble in our schools here in Leon County.
So again, back to our school resource deputies, they are with these kids every day. And so they are able to engage with them, do interventions with them, but also be a mentor to them and kind of guide them. I mean, there are times where we have that enforcement piece, but the ultimate goal of a school resource deputy is intervention, prevention before enforcement. And they know these kids very well. They interact with not only the kids, but their families, and they're able to facilitate any of their social service needs. So if they see a youth in need, they can partner that youth or that family with our community partners to get those resources to them.
Well, thank you, Leslie. Coming up next, we're issuing a challenge to some local youth. Details on the competition when we come back. 1 in 3 women will be victims of sexual violence in their lifetime.
So will 1 in every 4 men.
But we can all help in the fight against sex crimes.
Don't look the other way. If you see something, say something.
And don't blame the victim.
No means no.
Parents, be vigilant. Know who lives in your neighborhood.
And if you are a victim, please get help.
Let's be all in.
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 To stop sexual violence. We're back with LCSO Executive Director of Youth Services, Leslie Rayburn. Leslie, tell us about the new challenge we're launching along with some of our community partners.
Well, October is Red Ribbon Week, so instead of just spending a week on drug and alcohol prevention, we are actually spending the majority of the month of October. We have partnered with MAD of Northwest Florida as well as Safe Kids with TMH, and we are launching what is called the Power of Parents and the Power of Youth programs.
Well, why is this message so important?
Well, if you look at studies, most youth before they have their first drink by the age of 13. So that tells us we need to, do our interventions before that. But if you look at some other studies, you see that because the influence in TV, music, video games, most of our youth have a pretty positive, if not neutral, attitude toward alcohol before they are 9 years of age. So early intervention is key.
So this is a competition, a challenge.
It is.
And so how does the competition work?
So we are partnering our pilot program with 3 schools that we have our SRDs assigned to. There's elementary schools. We are focused on our 3rd graders through our 5th graders.
Who can participate?
So anybody that is at Bond Elementary in the 5th or 3rd grade, as well as Sable Palm and Oak Ridge.
How are you going to facilitate this? Is there a sign-up sheet or something going through the school? Exactly how do the kids learn about this?
So through MAD, we have developed an online learning portal. So this is something that the teachers can engage with them on their Chromebooks or extra credit or as a classroom assignment, but it also allows the parents to engage, even on a cell phone. You can engage in this program with us. So it allows the parents to either sit with their kid and do it together, or we can do it within the school facility. So everything is in an online platform.
Okay. Now, is there a way we plan to expand this program to throughout Leon County or throughout the region?
Well, we feel like this is going to be a success. We've already had a lot of buy-in from our 3 pilot schools. In fact, we've got a little competition going on between the 3 of them.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to see some of the ideas that they come up with to promote this. We will actually have a dashboard on our website showing participation for each of the 3 schools so that the schools can see how they're doing against each other, but also really for us to gauge what we're getting out of it as far as participation. So we're excited about just kind of taking the online platforms to a kind of a different topic for us.
Yeah. Now, has there been any pushback at all from the schools? I know we've got a great relationship with Rocky Hanna and his staff there. Are the teachers engaged at all the schools? Or?
So the schools that we're piloting in, they've been very excited. Initially, when we pitched this idea to them, they were all in. I'll throw that in.
I like that. Yeah.
And they were really excited because it kind of gave them a different platform that they could engage with not only their kids in their schools, but also their parents. And we're able to offer the program in English and Spanish because a number of our elementary schools have a pretty high Spanish-speaking population, not only for the kids, but for the families as well. So we are trying to engage with everyone that we can.
What about are we trying to package this? I know that TPD is in some of the other schools. Are we talking or working with TPD at all with respect to these initiatives once we get them going?
I think once we get through this pilot, this is something I would like to see and be able to next year roll out throughout the whole district to all of our elementary schools. And then our secondary part of this is we have a pledge with the middle schools that we're going to engage in all of our Title I schools as our pilot this year for middle schools, signing the pledge to say, drug and alcohol free.
We've got about 50 seconds or so. Talk real quickly about how all these things we're launching are going to help us in our efforts to fight crime.
I think it's, that goes back to that 3-prong approach. It gives us the ability to engage with interventions where there's an intervention needed. It allows us to offer prevention. And it allows us to give kind of an alternative to enforcement. So a lot of our programs that we do, we can use as diversions in lieu of arrest. And I think that's critical, especially when we're talking about our juveniles, because the last thing we want to do is, if we don't have to arrest them, is to be able, to give them an alternative to that so that they don't have a history.
Thank you, Leslie. Coming up in our Deputy on Duty, turning a bad situation positive, how LCSO's RISE Center is helping former inmates get a new start. Stay tuned. 1 in 3 women will be victims of sexual violence in their lifetime.
So will 1 in every 4 men.
But we can all help in the fight against sex crimes.
Don't look the other way. If you see something, say something.
And don't blame the victim.
No means no.
Parents, be vigilant. Know who lives in your neighborhood.
And if you are a victim, please get help.
Let's be all in
All in.
All in.
All in.
All in.
All in.
All in.
to stop sexual violence.
I went to jail 16 months ago, and when I got there, I did find out that I was pregnant, and at that point, I was in the lowest part of my addiction. I was homeless. I really didn't know where to go forward from there. So when Miss Johnson came in with the assistant sheriff and spoke to us about the reentry program, it gave me a little bit of hope. It wasn't 2 weeks later that she called me in her office. I was able to tell my story, and she really treated me like a normal person. I did not feel like someone that didn't have hope when she spoke to me. She told me about the resources, and I was really interested. At that point, I really wanted to be sober. I was really tired of being in that hopeless place. When I was released from jail, I had nothing but the clothes on my back. She brought me hygiene to the program, and she, told me if there was anything else that I needed to call her. After a few months, she called me to check in on me, and I told her I was doing great. And she, just kept encouraging me and telling me how proud she was of me. And to have someone from the sheriff's department call you and tell you they're proud of you after the history that I had, it gave me more hope. So I kept going, and I am currently doing the reentry for the Oxford House, which is a sober living facility. And so I reached out to her and told her how I was doing. And once again, she just told me how proud she was of me. And that really makes a difference when you have no hope. After graduating rehab, which was inpatient, so it's controlled, so it's easier to stay sober. I knew I was coming back into Tallahassee where my stomping grounds were. So I found the Oxford House, and that's been an amazing program also. It's been a great change. I've been able to meet new people. I haven't gone back to the environment that I came from. I go out of my way to make sure that I avoid those people, places, and things. And I am now going to church and meeting new people, and going to AA and meeting new people. And as I add more positive people into my life and into my circle, it's become easier to stay sober. When I was incarcerated, I was in the middle of a TPR, which is termination of parental rights. My kids were placed with my parents, and we were not speaking very often at all. So when I got out and went to rehab, they started coming to visitation and seeing me. And since I have, since I got out of rehab, I've seen them at minimum every weekend, a few times a week. At this point, I am in the process of moving into a place with another bedroom so that I can start overnights with my kids again. Honestly, our relationship has improved to a point that I never thought it would again. Me and my mom are best friends again. I'm speaking with my entire family, and it's been wonderful. It was a change. I was intimidated, by the sheriff's department for obvious reasons at that point. But when I talked to Miss Johnson, it was a great moment for me because I saw that there was a compassionate side. I told her my story, and she listened, and she cared, and she saw me as a person and not as an inmate. And that made a big difference for me. It gave me a way to see a life beyond what I was living in at that point. I know now that I have resources within the sheriff's department, and like I said, I've continued to speak to Miss Johnson and continued, Miss Logan called me and told me how proud she was of me as well. And hearing that is a great feeling. So I would definitely, if I needed anything, I know that I could call the sheriff's department and get that assistance. Just keep moving forward. They say that courage is not being afraid. It's moving forward even when you're afraid, and take it one day at a time and use every resource that's given to you, because it really will add up and make a difference, and you'll see changes in your life that you could never have imagined.
Welcome back to Leon County Today. Sheriff, hearing that inspiring story about the resources at the Rise Center, it really goes to really the heart of what we're doing to help decrease our recidivism rate.
Yeah, you know, the Rise Center has so much potential. I mean, if we can get all the social service organizations to come to our center, be that point of contact when people are leaving our detention facility, coming back in the community, that reentry initiative, it has such potential of turning lives around. And I think the testimony we've seen gives kudos to not only that effort, but gives kudos to the possibility of what Rise Center can mean in our community. We've just got to get the word out there more so that people know exactly what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. But saving one life, as this kind of demonstrates, is exactly what we're trying to achieve here in Tallahassee, Leon County. But we've got to get people who are in the community understanding what we're doing and buying into the fact that, I say this all the time, that sometimes we believe that we should lock people up and just keep them locked away, but 98% of the people that come into our detention facility are coming back. And the idea is that how can we get those persons in a place where they can come back and come back better?
Right.
And this is one great example of a testimony of how you can come back better.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll be able to post these stories on our website so individuals can go and hear more and also learn more about how they can get involved in the effort. But I want to talk about, before we leave today, we are just 2 days out from our annual Patrol Stroll event. Sheriff, I was thinking the other day, you know, this is our 5th year of the Patrol Stroll, benefiting Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. My hope is that we're going to get really close to the $100,000 mark for donations for this event. It's incredible what our men and women are doing to help this cause.
Well, it's incredible what this community will do when you get behind a cause like this.
Yeah.
This community really cares about people, and cancer, breast cancer in particular, is something that we all can kind of relate to and get out there and do something about it. So I am hopeful, like you are, that we raise that $100,000. It's doable. It just takes all of us pitching in to get it done. All in, right?
All in, all indeed. So we definitely want you to mark your calendars and come out on Thursday night. We'll be down in College Town. The fashion show, all law enforcement members in this fashion show, kicks off at 7 p.m. The show is free and open to the public. So, Sheriff, you want to give us a sneak peek of, or tell us more about your outfit for the night?
No. It won't be this.
It won't be that one. It won't be that one indeed. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Have a wonderful day.